as Jessica said, my name is Matt Smith. I'm here to introduce my younger brother, Alex Smith. I want to start out by making something clear. When Alex was here, he was a girl. He played on girls' teams. Any records he holds are girls' records. I don't know if there's a script for inducting a young man into the Women's Hall of Fame, but we're just going to give it everything we got. As Renee said, seniors at the Harrisburg Academy have to give senior speeches, and I guess one kid goes every week, stands, I don't even remember, I guess up here, in front of the entire upper school between third and fourth periods, and I guess one kid goes every week for the length of the year. For whatever reason, that year Alex went last. He got up, remember he's a girl at the time, and announced to the world that he announced that he was a lesbian. Al was certainly not the first queer person to walk through the doors of the Harrisburg Academy. But I do think that that was a big moment for us all, and to the Academy's credit, from everything I know from him and from my folks, he was embraced, he was appreciated, he was congratulated. It was a courageous act and a glorious moment. The glory didn't last long though. Al, within a few years, found himself back in the closet. He just didn't feel like his identity was matching up with the way the world viewed him. And I guess my question is to you, can you imagine what it's... Can you imagine what it's like to be a young man when the world thinks of you as a lesbian? I could not. And so, you know, as he matured through college and developed a vocabulary and developed, again, the courage to articulate something that he had been feeling for his entire life, he again came out, this time not in a speech, but in an email. He sent an email and blasted it to, I think, everybody, and at the end it said, please forward along to anybody I missed. It was eloquent, insightful, compassionate. It was brilliant, and again, it was courageous. I mean, think about the risk that you're taking in this culture, in this political system. So I guess I just want to start out by saying that was probably my 5 to 7 minutes. I didn't mean to be like that. We're here to celebrate not Al's queerness, but his athletic achievement, and so I guess I'll move on to that now. He played 4 years of softball and 4 years of basketball. Softball, freshman year, that was Renee's year, I guess, they won a championship. Sophomore year, that was Alexis's year, I guess they won a championship. Junior year, he was all-conference, they won a 3rd championship. Senior year, he was captain and MVP, again all-conference, and they won their 4th championship. Success. Basketball, he again played 4 years. Junior year, he was captain and MVP, made the all-conference squad, led his team to districts for the first time, I think, in a decade. I may have it wrong. And he also made the Big 15 honorable mention. Big 15 is something that comes out of the Patriot News. They print the top 15 girls in the region. He didn't make the top 15, but he did receive honorable mention. I mean, this is big stuff. He's banging with girls from Steel High and Harrisburg and Trinity. High honors. Then senior year, again, he was captain MVP, again all-conference, again he received Big 15 honorable mention. He finished his career as the school's all-time scoring leader. He found success. He went on to Skidmore College up in Saratoga Springs, and I remember he tried out for the softball team and the basketball team, or both, and the coaches were pumped, and he quickly decided, more quickly than I was ready for, that he wasn't going to play either. And I remember saying, Al, you know, is this really the way to go? And you put a lot of time into this, and I kind of think there's no going back. And he said, no, you know, I'm really being pulled toward art. I should have seen it coming. He sort of started focusing on art here in high school. He received the Trustees Art Award, again a high honor, and he wanted to be a studio art major. I talked to him sophomore year. He had questions. He was in this class with a bunch of other painters, and he said, man, I don't know if this is right. I don't know if I deserve to be here. I mean, I'm in a class with a bunch of artists. I mean, these folks have been doing this for a long time. You should see their stuff next to my stuff. I mean, their stuff is good. These guys are serious. And, but you know, I like it, and my professors say, you got talent, you know, you should really stick with it. They're talking to me, and they're really encouraging me to stick with it. I think I'm going to stick with it. Senior year, Saratoga Springs is a big arts community, and Skidmore has a pretty solid art program. They take it seriously. And every year, there's the senior art show. And at the beginning of senior year, I don't know, whenever the art show started, he calls us and he says, they picked one of my pieces to advertise the show. So they had taken one of his pieces and put it on the flyer, and it's plastered all over the school, and it's plastered all over Saratoga Springs. He was pumped. I was surprised, I guess. I hadn't been up there that long, and I mean, I didn't really think that it happens in a couple of years. I don't know if it took longer than that. I don't really know. I'm not much of an art guy myself. So then they have the senior art show, and one of his pieces wins Best in Show. It's a self-portrait. It's, you know, bigger than my arms and everything. It was brilliant. I mean, it was stunning. I mean, he talked about what it was to paint that piece, and he was going through a breakup at the time, and he had to do this thing. He was on a deadline. He was going through his breakup, and he's got to do this. He's got this assignment. He's got to do a self-portrait, and he talks about how he's just fuming, and he's painting, and he's really thinking about this breakup, and he would sort of disappear for a couple hours and then step back and look at it and then sort of go into it, and you can see it. I mean, I think it's really what art is meant to be. It wasn't intentional. It was just sort of him on his canvas. He found success. Now Al is in San Francisco, and he's telling me he wants to get into politics, political activism. And I say, you know, this is great, Al, but you're an artist. You know, you got coming out of you. You can't. I mean, there's nothing you can stop. You need a canvas. You know, you need studio time. Mom and Dad will get you studio time. You gotta do this. And he goes, yeah, I'll be all right. It'll be okay. He gets on a campaign of a city council person there. The campaign lasts 12 or 18 months. His guy ends up losing, but he entered a world. San Francisco is an active place. He's now in this world. And after the campaign ends, they asked him to serve on this committee, this little committee called the Harvey Milk Democratic Club. You know, I don't know San Francisco politics. What do I understand is that this is really a premier LGBT activism organization in the city. I mean, I don't think there's a bigger queer endorsement you can get. Again, he's found success.